This is my preseason top 10. Here we go. All right, New England Patriots, number 10, 29th in total defense, 30th in pass defense. Now, they do get to the quarterback. They were 7th in sacks. It's not necessarily their losses in all of them. I do think Nate Solder at left tackle is going to be an important loss for an aging quarterback that's not overly mobile. Brady and Nate Solder were very tight. It's not Danny Amendola. They'll find another slot receiver, Malcolm Butler or Brandon Cooks. But I do think we have a little bit of a rebuild left side of the offensive line. I don't think they have a dynamic wide receiving core. And Gronk is giving me about 10.5 games a year over the last half decade. My favorite thing about the Patriots right now, their division. And they're going to win their division because of their structure and stability. And they have the best football coach probably of my life. But I just do not see the dynamic perimeter athletes, the dynamic pass rush, and players that other teams have. Patriots at 10. Minnesota's good, and by the way, from 9 to about 4, it's really jumbled up. I'm going to have them pull back a little. First of all, this is a big deal. They lost Pat Shurmur, offensive coordinator. What happened to Atlanta a few years ago when they lost Kyle Shanahan? They weren't the same football team. They were good, not great. They added Kirk Cousins. I like him better than Case Keenum. But again, new coordinator. Aaron Rodgers is back in the division. They were bizarrely healthy last year. This is a very good football team. They will be in the playoff hunt and maybe a playoff team. I like them. But last year, Rodgers is out. You start looking at quarterbacks banged up. Theirs was healthy. Perfect offensive coordinator. Defense didn't get banged up. It all kind of worked perfectly. Now they have a first-place schedule. Good, not as great. Vikings 9. Listen, everybody in Vegas I talk to says the best long-shot Super Bowl team is the L.A. Chargers. They won 9 of their last 12 and 6 of their last 7. They added Mike Pouncey. So they got Russell Okung, left side of the offensive line, had a good year. Now they add a Pro Bowl center in Mike Pouncey. They also had a defensive weakness right up the middle. They went and got Derwin James. I've been watching the practice video. He is tearing it up. Going to be a Pro Bowler at safety in no time. They solved their one issue on this football team was right up the middle. Safety, linebacker, and nose tackle. This is a football team. If you look at that division now, they get John Gruden twice. They get rookie Patrick Mahomes, and he really is a rookie a couple times. We got Denver, that offensive line, Case Keenum. I think the division has weakened in the last year, except the Chargers. They're at 8. Green Bay Packers, and again, this is really tight. They went out and they got 3 corners in the last couple of years. They drafted a couple. They go in free agency. Aaron Rodgers is back. Now, there are things about this team that drive me crazy. I think they should have gone after Khalil Mack. I don't think it's a glamour market where they can get free agent star defensive players. But Green Bay, to me, plays in a division now that's really good. This is why I lower them a little bit. Chicago's defensive front is nasty. Minnesota's roster is nasty. And Detroit's got Matt Stafford. So I like Green Bay, but that division's tough. You can make an argument. There are Sundays that looks like the best division in football. Green Bay at 7. Again, very close New Orleans. And one of the reasons I don't have them higher, Atlanta's good, Carolina's good. Yeah, a lot of tough Sundays in the NFL in that division. They traded up in the draft to get Marcus Davenport, so they want more of a pass rush. Not like they had no pass rush last year. They did lose Willie Snead. They did lose Kenny Vaccaro, but they had the offensive and defensive rookies of the year. Listen, this is a little like Brady Belichick in the AFC. I get the brain of Sean Payton. I get the brain and the talent of Drew Brees. They're going to win a lot of football games, but a very, very tough division, unlike Tom Brady. And I think right now I like Atlanta more than I do New Orleans. In that division, I have the Saints at 6. Little Super Bowl hangover for the Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz isn't ready to play. And they bring in Michael Bennett. Haloti Ngata. I like that. But, you start looking at Alshon Jeffrey's not ready to play. Some running backs are dinged up. I think the division's better. And frankly, I think there's a reason, on average, 4 teams that didn't make the playoffs make them the next year. Last year, we had even more than that. I think it's tough. I think there's a bullseye on their back. I think Philadelphia teams from the Phillies to the Sixers to the Flyers, Philadelphia is a puff-your-chest town. When you win there, it is a pate, and teams tend to, in Philadelphia, slide back down. Malcolm Jenkins came out and said, get that goofy banner out of our locker room. Again, I don't have Carson Wentz. And stop telling me Nick Foles is almost Carson Wentz. You're comparing Air Force One and a prop plane. They're different players. Philly at 5. My underrated team in the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens. Again, if it wasn't for an Andy Dalton walk-off, they would have been a playoff team. They won 5 of their last 7. Their last 5 losses were all one possession. They went out and drafted 2 tight ends, and they added nice spark players on the outside. Wide receiver John Brown, Michael Crabtree, Willie Snead. Joe Flacco's always played better when motivated. That's why they overdrafted, in my opinion, Lamar Jackson. Baltimore looked tremendous in preseason in those first series, both offensively and defensively. This is the best team in the league, playing with a chip on their shoulder the way the season ended, with an inspired Joe Flacco and a coach on the hot seat. Baltimore number 4. You know what? Pittsburgh, I love their talent. I love Pittsburgh, but good Lord, could they have a week when they're not in the news? I got a locker room now that's all splintered, offensive lines banging on Le'Veon Bell. They've got a couple of linebackers. I like Bud Dupree's really good, but Ryan Shazier did offer range and speed that I don't think you can duplicate. Like Sean Lee to the Cowboys, it's just there are certain players in this league. Luke Kuechly, you lose him at linebacker, you're not the same football team. There's just something about certain players, the communication, the speed, the range. Again, I like this team. Big Ben's not as efficient as I would prefer. He's not as efficient. That has dipped in recent years. Still like him a lot. Don't love him like I do the top 2 or 3 guys in the league. Steelers 3. Listen, I told you LeBron was coming to the Lakers. You said I was an L.A. homer. You're going to call me an L.A. homer because I do my show in L.A., but the Rams are ridiculous. Folks, they were 11-5 last year with a rookie head coach. Jared Goff now coming back with McVay. They had a good receiving corps. They added Brandon Cooks. They had Aaron Donald. They added Ndamukong Suh. Their cornerback, they had Trumaine Johnson. Okay, they lose him, but they had Sam Shields. They had Marcus Peters, who may be the best pure corner cover in the league, and Aqib Talib, a really good veteran, tough guy. They also have the best punter and the kicker in the league, the best special teams in the league. I'm telling you, I think we're undervaluing them at 2. If you stack up rosters, what don't I like? They even went after Khalil Mack. I could argue they need a pass rusher. Everybody in the league not named Denver and the L.A. Chargers could use another pass rusher. Rams at 2. I love the Falcons. Did you know they're the only team in the NFL without a single player on the IR as of tonight? They added Calvin Ridley to a loaded wide receiving corps that plays on a fast track. They needed corners. They went and got one in free agency and drafted one in the second round. The biggest story, though, there's 2 big stories here. Sark's in his second year. I think that's a big underreported story. Kyle Shanahan gets him to a Super Bowl, leaves. Of course you're going to dip. Now Steve Sarkisian, second year working with Matt Ryan. Remember, Kyle Shanahan needed 2 years to click with Matt Ryan too. And they also have the most underrated offensive line in the NFL. I love their owner. I love their GM. I love their coach, Dan Quinn. I love their quarterback. And they got pieces on the perimeter. They solved their cornerback issues. Atlanta is my best team in the league as of this morning. That was fun. I love the NFL. I love them. And, you know, people think I don't like Atlanta. And I said, you came into the Super Bowl, yappy, 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 yappy. New England won by the score I virtually predicted. Then last year, you lose Kyle Shanahan. It's like yappy, yappy, yappy. I'm like, you're not going to be as good, and I was right. Atlanta, just admit I'm right. But I don't want to be a jerk about it because this year, I think you're the team that is completely under the radar. L.A. Rams are flashy, and the Eagles got the Super Bowl. Everybody's talking about Aaron Rodgers. Oh, I love Drew Brees. Atlanta's just like, shh, don't pay attention to us. We're just opening the season tonight on another network. Atlanta in the Super Bowl. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.